Today is the day to stop pretending that you're okay with not being okay. Yesterday could have been the day you lied your last "I'm fine." Tomorrow could be the day you actually mean it. If you do not pull the weeds in the garden, the flowers will never grow. 350 million people worldwide suffer from depression. Today, October 10th, is World Mental Health Day. And we are here, and I am here to say you are not alone. This is probably one of the most important videos I will ever make because I too suffer from depression. If you would like to be part of this movement as well, you can hashtag Let's Talk and you can share your story as well. I'm very thankful today to be partnering up with BetterHelp. This video is sponsored by them, and this is an online counseling website in which you can get more affordable counseling. You don't have to leave your house, and it's really great because you're paired with a licensed therapist within 24 hours of creating an account. When you create your account, you'll go through a questionnaire and their algorithm will match you with a therapist based on your answers. If you find for any reason that you don't like the therapist you were matched with, it is really easy to change. You can also choose specifications for your therapist. So if you want them to be female, LGBTQ friendly, religious, etc., it can happen. BetterHelp goes to great length to find you a therapist you will be most comfortable with and who will be best understanding with what you are going through. You can schedule as many counseling sessions as your therapist's schedule allows, and in between sessions, you can text or email them as often as you'd like. Plans start for as low as $35 a week, and if you are struggling, I highly encourage you to check out BetterHelp. I know that going to an actual therapist is very intimidating, and this makes it easy. BetterHelp, better you. So without further ado, here's my video. Let's talk. I didn't think you were going to come over, especially with the way that you sounded over the phone. But I'm so glad you're here. I know that sometimes when you're feeling this way, you just want to cover yourself up in a blanket and just hide in your bedroom, hide from the world, from your friends and your family. But you did it. You got up today. And I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Do you know that? And just remember, this is a judge-free zone. You can tell me anything and nothing at all. It is completely up to you. Okay? Yeah, I know that you have been dealing with depression. It's been over a year that you've been diagnosed, right? Okay. No, you don't have to say sorry. Not at all. You don't ever have to apologize for feeling this way. Not to me, to anyone. Okay? So, no more. No more apologizing. I have some tissues here. Okay. Can I wipe away your tears? Would that be okay? You can wipe them yourself if you'd like. It's okay. You don't ever have to apologize for feeling this way, and you don't ever have to apologize for crying, for being emotional. We're human. We're all human. Just trying to live. And we all walk different paths. And depression has no preference, it affects all ages and all genders. Now again, you don't have to tell me anything if you don't want to. But if you would like, I am all ears. All listening ears. If there is a certain situation that is bothering you, you can feel free to tell me. Now, of course, I'm not saying that your depression is due to anything in particular, but I do know that with depression, there is a higher risk when we are dealt with certain situations such as unemployment or loss of a family member or a friend. I can totally understand that. I can. And when we break our silence when it comes to mental health, we break down those walls that society has put up, those stigmas. We need to educate others who don't necessarily understand what we're going through. I remember telling my friend that I was feeling very depressed. This was last year, in fact. Last year was definitely one of my personal worst years with depression and anxiety. And I told my friend, I confided in her, and I told her how I was feeling. And she was in genuine shock, because I'm always someone that puts a smile on my face and puts one foot forward in anything that I do. And she was puzzled at how she never knew that I was dealing with all of this. And she said, well, I guess it's true what they say. Don't judge a book by its cover. And I thought about that. I thought about, well, what if I was a book? What would I be? And I told her, yeah, well, On the outside, I probably look like Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. But on the inside, if you opened me up and started reading the pages, I would be more of Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. You know, filled with sadness and tragedy and anguish. I know, super dramatic. That was my way of explaining it to my friend. And she got it. She understood in her way. And, you know, there's definitely going to be people who just don't understand and don't want to take the time to understand. And honestly, I would say to remove those people in your life because they are toxic. You will learn over the years the people who are toxic in your life, those who don't want to support you or don't want to take the time to help you, or they're just not looking out for your best interest. You will know who those people are. Do you mind if I comb your hair a little bit? Your hair is getting so long. It's crazy. Yeah. Great. Let me just grab my brush. Now, as I said last year, for me personally was the worst year. When it came to my anxiety and my depression, and for me personally, it stemmed from illness. I had something called a thyroiditis. And I ended up getting so much symptoms through that. I started losing my hair. I started having heart palpitations and tachycardia. My heart felt like it was just going to jump out of my chest, or it was just going to beat too much and ultimately stop. And all this worry caused panic attacks, and I was anxious all the time, to the point where half of my body became numb, physically numb. And feeling that way caused me depression, and it was just this vicious cycle until I received help. I received help from a specialist and my primary doctor, who prescribed me Klonopin and Prozac. And I can definitely say that taking medication did help me and has helped me, but I've also found other ways besides medication to help me with my depression, my anxiety. I'd share those things with you if you'd like. But I also saw a therapist as well. And I know that seeing a therapist can be very, what's the word? Intimidating, I guess. Again, it's like you've been a closed book, you know, hiding from the world, and then you have to open yourself up. You're opening that book, and everyone's seeing the pages and the chapters, and I know it's very scary, but it's so worth it. Seeing someone that is outside of the picture, you know, someone that's not personally attached to you, I feel like you can tell them a little bit more. You can be a little more personal with them. And you don't feel judged because they don't know you. How can someone judge you if they don't really know you? Even though no one should ever judge anyone, really. But I did see a therapist for a while, and she helped tremendously. My therapist listened to me, and she guided me. She helped me with my flight or fight, helping me fight rather than flight, how to work through stressful situations, and I know that a lot of people don't really like therapy, but it's ultimately because of how other people perceive getting therapy. People think, oh wow, she's getting therapy. She must be crazy. She must be messed up in the head. And that way of thinking is scary because it makes the person dealing with depression or anxiety or any mental illness feel like they're crazy. But again, we're all just human trying to live, but we all deal with things differently. So, I personally recommend seeking a therapist. And I actually had to stop seeing my therapist only because it just got too expensive, and I know that is a problem with a lot of therapists. They tend to be expensive, your insurance doesn't cover, or it only covers a certain amount of sessions, which is what happened to me. So, since my therapist just got way too expensive and my insurance wasn't going to cover at all, I just decided to look elsewhere, and I found this website called BetterHelp, and basically it is online therapy. And what's so great about it is that it's so affordable. It's as low as $35 a week. And you can ask for as much sessions as you would like, as long as the therapist is available, which is great, especially for just $35. So that's what I've been doing, and basically you just fill out this survey. So it's all pretty customizable, so I'm pretty sure they'll be a perfect fit for you. You can choose the gender that you would like. For me personally, I feel much better talking with a female therapist. And you can talk with someone that is from the LGBTQ community. If you have a religious preference, anything really, which is excellent. And if you don't like your therapist, you can always switch as well. Yeah, you don't have to physically talk to someone if it's a bit intimidating for you. You can just start out by chatting, just texting, which is really great. I love it. I love it. I feel so comfortable with my therapist. And she's very, very knowledgeable. So you'd be interested in something like that? Okay, great. Yeah, I can definitely bookmark it for you. Do you have your phone with you? Okay, great. Okay, let's see. Okay. So, do you want something to drink? I'm sorry, I should have asked you right when you came over. I have tea. I have chamomile tea, green tea, lemon tea, Earl Grey. Not much of a tea drinker. Okay. I have lemonade. I have pink lemonade. Yeah. I have soda pop. I have grape soda, and I have ginger ale. Okay. Ginger ale. This is the Renars. Yeah, it's really, really good. Authentic, bold taste. It is quite bold. If you like ginger, you will like this. I agree. Sometimes when I'm feeling down, I just need to drink something that I like. Not necessarily the most healthiest, although I do try to stay healthy, but sometimes we need a pick-me-up like this. So, Bernard's. So, I'm just gonna pop this open. Do you want it just like this, or do you want it in a cup? In a cup, okay. Up to the top. Can you see the ginger ale just sparkling? Do you want to drink it like this or with a straw? I have a straw. Straw it is. And there you have it. Ginger ale for you. Cheers, my friend. Just put that up to the side. And I'm going to share the things that I do to help with my depression or my anxiety, besides taking medication, speaking to a therapist, things that I like to do when I'm at home. So, the first thing here is this journal. Not this particular journal, but journaling in general is something that is absolutely therapeutic. Whenever you have a thought, jot it down. I have about 20 different journals in my home, and I have one journal by my nightstand. And what I do when I wake up in the morning, before I actually start my day, I write down 3 positive things. It could be about anything, but I do feel by writing down 3 positive things, it does help bring forth positive energy. And it's a good way to start your day, regardless of how you know that day's gonna be. I like to rate 3 positive things as if those things already happened throughout the day, if that makes sense. And I also like setting routines too. Like, I wake up an hour early before my children do. That way, I know I am going to get my morning coffee before it gets cold and it turns into iced coffee rather than hot coffee. But giving myself that hour helps get my mind ready. Even though my body may still be tired, I won't have a tired mind, if that makes sense. So those are just some things that I like to do to just start my day right, I guess. So journaling, very important. You can journal in the morning like I do, or you can try journaling at night. But always try keeping some of it positive. Or you can leave one journal just for positivity, affirmations, anything like that, and then set one aside for venting. And I like to actually vent in poem form. I find it more therapeutic than just kind of rambling. For instance, and this is quite personal, but this is a poem that I actually wrote. Are you ready? Judge free zone, so don't judge me, but let me find it. It's in my notes. But that is the date. That is when I actually wrote this, and I'll read it to you. It says, "He doesn't care who you are or where you came from. He doesn't care if you are someone's daughter, son, sister, brother, mother, father, or friend. He doesn't care how much you have accomplished in your life or the struggles you overcame. He doesn't care about your past, present, but most importantly, your future. He doesn't care about the effort you make each day to get up in the morning. He doesn't care that you forgot how it was to laugh, truly laugh. The kind of laugh where your stomach hurts and you're about to pee your pants. He doesn't care that when you look at your reflection, you see absolutely nothing. He doesn't care that he hinders you from just the basic of activities, such as combing your hair, getting dressed, and eating. He doesn't care that he has altered you completely. He doesn't care about the worries he puts upon you. He doesn't care that you were once happy. Depression doesn't care. And that's a very raw poem that I wrote April 28th, 2016 at 10:52 p.m. So I just wanted to share a little bit of how I felt, and it's scary when people don't share that they feel this way because they feel ashamed, and unfortunately there are people who think that the last result is the end result, which is suicide, and the word suicide is just so taboo and no one wants to talk about it, but yet we all know it's an issue, and it all starts with just conversation, And again, I'm so proud of you for coming here, getting out of bed, talking to me today, listening to me today. And that's just a beautiful start. I know that when we are in it, we feel alone. And I just want you to know that you are not alone. So, another thing that I personally like when it comes to dealing with depression and anxiety, these are some tools, and they're books. And I'm not a huge self-help book kind of person, but I do have a select few that I do love. Sometimes when I'm in depression, I don't necessarily like to read about depression, if that makes sense. It just makes me think about it even more, even though, of course, the book is trying to help. But I do tend to read self-help books when I'm feeling a little better. So basically, I use these books to just absorb as much knowledge as possible, so I have as much tips possible to better help me with, stress, anxiety, depression, and these are some of my favorites. And, I do read some of these while I am in that depressed state because they're not as aggressive, and they talk about positivity, which is something that resonates with me. Positive thinking, positive life. So I'm going to start off with the ones that I've had for a very long time. So this one is Staying on Top When Your World Turns Upside Down, and it's by Catherine D. Kramer. She is a PhD, and it says turn your stress into strength, and it's just amazing. And even though this is an older book, it just resonates with me so much. And I've bookmarked it. Let's see what we have here. remember bookmarking this page because, again, I was dealing with a lot of health issues, and this is about normalizing your internal rhythms and relaxing and restoring your body and giving basically increments of resting time throughout your day, and just how to practice relaxation even throughout the stress in your life. And she talks about ultradian rhythms, which associate with the healthy functioning of your body, whether it be your metabolism, your hormones, or just major organs in your body, and how if you don't rest, or you don't give yourself resting points throughout the day, it can mess with your nervous system and your endocrine system, which resonated with me because I was having issues with my thyroids. So that's why I bookmarked that. It was quite interesting because at that time I wasn't getting like any rest, and I wasn't taking naps throughout the day. And so it was an interesting read. And this one is just a little chart. It says staying on top and dynamic of threats, dynamics of challenges, trauma as the enemy, trauma as a challenge. The world is doing it to me. You don't want to think that way. You want to think I am the author of my life. Me against the trauma. Me joined with the trauma. Words that are negative, angry, fearful, ineffective, helpless, rejecting, resentful, annoyed, anxious, lonely. Those are experiences. And then there's good experiences, which is excited, courageous, confident, powerful, potent, accepting. So, and then readiness signals, seeking your inner balance, having confidence that you can eventually grow stronger and healthier, and feeling more in control of yourself again. And those are just like checkpoints. So I mean, there's a lot in this book that's just what I had bookmarked. So I love this book so much, and it has been so helpful. So there's that. And then let's see, this one is a little bit different. This is called The Energy Bus, and it's by John Gordon. Have you heard of him? No. I like him because this is like a self-help book. It's 10 rules to fuel your life, work, and team with positive energy. But I like this book because it's a little unconventional. It's a self-help book, but it's written in a different narrative. It's more of a storytelling. So the book is about this man named George, and he, through unfortunate events, he has to ride the bus to work. And he meets the bus driver, and the bus driver gives him lessons in life to better his life with positive energy. And he also meets other characters along the way, and so it's really great because it's very different. And so, you know, it's about George, but you're learning while he's learning, if that makes sense. So, and there's different rules. Post a sign that says no energy vampires allowed on your bus. So people who are going to suck your energy away. So yeah, it's all about George. Enthusiasm attracts more passengers and energizes them during the ride. He's written a lot of books, and I'm not sure if they're written in the same narrative, but he has a book called The No Complaining Rule, a book called The Seed, which is finding purpose and happiness in life and work. So, John Gordon. It's not a traditional self-help book, but I still love it nonetheless. So you should definitely, try it out. I love my books, so I do have a lot of books, and I say I don't really like self-help books, but I actually do have a lot. These are just some of them, but this one right here, I love so much. This book is so magical. This is The Secret, The Power, and it's by Rhonda Byrne. And I'm sure you've heard of The Secret. Yeah. Let's see. This is just very aspirational. Love, gratitude, joy, passion, excitement, enthusiasm, hope, satisfaction. Those are all words of light. And then these are the darker words in the bottom. Irritation, boredom, worry, disappointment, anger, criticism, hate, envy, guilt, despair, fear. Which are all valid feelings, of course. But these just show you, these books just kind of show you how to have a positive way of thinking. Which, oftentimes is not the easiest. Especially depending on situations. Which I can completely understand. This is probably one of my favorite pages here, and this is Points of Power. I'll read the first one. It's very powerful. How you feel in any one moment is more important than anything else, because how you feel right now is creating your life. Very powerful stuff. So, this is another good one. I just love filling my mind with affirmations and as much positivity as I possibly can. And the next one is this one. This is actually a rather new book, but it's a #1 New York Times bestseller, and I can give it to you if you like. I have one too, but if you want it, it's yours. But it's called You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. Identify and change the self-sabotaging beliefs and behaviors that stop you from getting what you want. Create a life you totally love and create it now. Make some damn money already, the kind you have never made before. So this just talks about, everything, personal growth, and she talks about meditation, which I'm going to share some meditation books that I like. So I bookmarked this, and it says, bring us into the present moment, raises our frequency, opens us up to receive unlimited information and ideas, relaxes us, relieves stress, strengthens our intuition and ability to focus, allows us to hear our inner voice more clearly. This is very important, and you never want to hide that voice. You never want to be ashamed of that voice. Fills us with light and love, puts us in a good mood, and helps us love others. So those are just a list of things as to why meditation is amazing. So this is my book that has helped me learn the values of meditation and how to properly meditate. And it's called Learn to Meditate. And it's by David Fontana. And this is a practical guide to self-discovery and fulfillment. I love this book. It also has beautiful imagery as well. Letting go. Very important. Learning how to let go. Again, just beautiful pictures. postures in here. I bookmarked this as well. Stillness and silence. The quiet and solitary man apprehends the indestructible. He seeks nothing, holds the mean, and remains free from entanglements. Learning to sit. So it talks about postures. It talks about everything. It's a really in-depth book. And I know that meditation may seem boring to some. Well, I have heard that from your friends of mine, but have you tried to meditate? It's a perfect way to become one with yourself, mind, body, and soul. And this right here is Melody Beattie's book. It's a journey to the heart and daily meditations on the path to freeing your soul. So if you want to get into meditation, you can just turn the page to the date. So it is October 10th. So let me find that date. October 10th. So it says, we are transmitters and receivers. We are a finely tuned instrument, body, mind, and soul. We receive messages, we receive guidance, and we transmit energy, the energy of love. And it goes on, but the little segments aren't too large, the paragraphs, so. But yeah, so this is a great book if you want to start, meditating, and it just kind of helps you on your path to meditation. So it's very enlightening. And then I have this as well. This is more of a physical healing type of book, and it's called Instant Massage, Easy Relaxation Techniques with Step-by-Step Massage for Stress Relief. This has helped me a lot. Some of these I can do myself. Like some of the massages, like the head massages I can do on myself. I can try this out on you. It's called the Head Revitalizer. So it says here, use small circling movements with the fingers working steadily from the forehead down, around the temples, and over the cheeks. So, circular motions like this. Like that. How does that feel? So, and then use firm pressure and work slowly to ease tensions out of all of the facial muscles, like that. So let's try that. So I'm just kind of like scrunching in your forehead a little bit. And then use your fingers to gently press around the eye socket by your nose area. So using these fingers. Perfect. And then smooth firmly around the arc of your eye socket beneath your brow bone. And then your sides of your nose, work across the cheeks, along each side of the nose. So, if I may ask, how are you feeling now? You're feeling better? I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, those are just some of the tools that I use at home to help me with my anxiety and depression, but I also like to go hiking. I like being in nature, being around life. I surround myself with a lot of plants at home, and, I have Cosmo, and, he helps a lot. Just being, surrounded by living things. It could be a plant, or it could be an animal, or, of course, family and friends that are understanding and nurturing. That always helps as well, so. So, are you going to work today? Have you decided? You're gonna go? I'm so proud of you. I just want you to know that I'm always going to be here for you. You're never a bother. You're never a nuisance. And again, you don't ever have to apologize for feeling this way. You just clean up underneath your eyes a little bit. Don't ever apologize, okay? You should never have to apologize for how you feel. You're already going through so much as it is, and saying sorry for your depression or your anxiety is basically like saying sorry to the person who hit you with their car, and you're the one apologizing to them. It just doesn't make any sense. We should be more open and more caring when it comes to mental health, and we should realize it's more normal than people tend to perceive it to be. That's better. I'm also going to put these underneath your eyes. They look kind of scary. What are they? They look like slices of pickles. No. They help depuff your under eyes, and they also brighten your under eyes as well. So I have the box here because I knew you would ask. These are the shimmering under eye treatments for anti-aging benefits and tightens the skin with gold dust and collagen. So I'm going to put these underneath your eyes, and they have this liquid here. So that's going to help puff your eyes since you've been crying. So we have this one here. This one is going to go right here. Is that good? Okay. And then we have they're so slippery. This one is going to go right there. Okay, and I'm just going to pat them. And I'm just going to smooth them down a little bit. Smoothie, 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 smooth, 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 feels very cooling underneath your eyes, right? Yeah, it feels like jello. So that's going to sit nicely underneath your eyes. This is the thinnest part of our face. It's a very thin part of our skin, and so when we cry, it's very normal that it tends to get very puffy. So, but no, don't worry. By the time you have to go to work, your eyes will look very refreshed. So, I know I tell you this all the time, but I have so much love and admiration for you, and I'm so very proud of you. And it's always such a pleasure spending time with you. So, you can come to me whenever you want. And I hope the rest of your day goes great. Yeah, you can definitely come over tomorrow. Okay, great. So, can I get a hug and a kiss? Okay. I'll see you tomorrow.